Let's go back to the image. These parts above the water level, they're all gold. The roof, the pillars, they're all golden. It's because they coated marble with gold. We know this because we have seen this in Laputa, the castle in the sky. Do you remember the scene where the soldiers charged into Laputa and started ripping things off the walls and pillars? They were ripping off the gold. Gold parts in the ancient temple building, they're not painted. They're actually coated with gold foils. That's why in Laputa, the soldiers were ripping off the gold. The marble was not printed in gold, it was coated with real gold. Pure gold. This Roman ruin is depicted in the same way. These are actually covered in gold. I suppose that the Upper Cagliostro family used the gold from this golden city to make their counterfeit coins. This was the secret behind the prosperity of the Upper Cagliostro. However, I think around 1517, they used up all the gold, only leaving some thin gold foil in these upper portions. You see, a place in this Roman ruin where Cagliostro, I mean Lupin and Clarice, took a walk holding hands. It has a rather marble-like color. Only the upper part from the bird's eye view you first see is gold. And where they take a walk, it's plain marble, like you can see in the white background. This means that the gold has been ripped off. So what happened is that around 1517, they used up the heritage of the Golden City almost completely, leaving gold only on a few difficult-to-reach locations like on the roofs and on the pillars. Then the ancestors decided to submerge the ruin and hide it. Why? Because they wanted to hide the fact that they were out of the gold they used to issue their coins. I think they disclosed this golden city to a limited list of people like kings and the Pope, to make rumors and bluff people into believing that Cagliostro has a divine financial power to issue an unlimited amount of coins, and alchemistic power to make an unlimited amount of gold. Backed by this reputation, they started counterfeiting. Up until 1517, the Cagliostro actually had gold, so they issued gold coins. When they ran out of gold, they started making fake coins. This is the reason why the Cagliostro family split in two, and it is the secret of this year. This is the biggest secret they had to hide because they wanted to cover up the fact that they were already out of gold. I summarize this for the sake of easier understanding. Here, the history of Cagliostro. The history from the OTAKING perspective. From the Middle Ages to around 1516, they prospered thanks to the gold from the Roman ruin. But then they ran out of gold, so they flooded the ruin to protect their reputation. Then, until around the 19th century, they issued fake coins claiming they were made using alchemy. And from the 19th century to around 1970, they shifted their business from fake coins to counterfeit bills. This shift ruined the power balance, resulting in the Archduke family being assassinated and their residence burned down. In 78, the Lupin incident occurred. This incident, a major affair that could even lead to a political crisis. So, the Lupin incident resulted in the revival of the Archduke Cagliostro. The revival of the Archduke Cagliostro completed by Clarice de Cagliostro taking the throne. So this was a chronological history of events only within the Cagliostro family. So, returning to the first question, why did the Count want to unify the Cagliostro families? We'll go into this little further in detail later. The Count actually did not know what the hidden treasure was. It was hidden in the past to hide the fact that there is no more gold. And the great sarcastic twist in this film is that the Roman ruin came to light after 400 years, only to be reassessed as the treasure of the world. And in summary, the Count destroyed the Archduke family that was already useless. Unfortunately, even though they're making a fortune out of the counterfeit bills, they say they were facing some printing problem. And besides that, the Grand Duchy of Cagliostro was facing the wind of change in international finance. Even when this film was made, electronic data had been introduced to the international financial market to overwhelm the paper money. The counterfeit business of the Cagliostro family itself became obsolete. Like the coin making by the Upper Cagliostro became obsolete, the fake bill business run by the Lower Cagliostro gradually went the same way. On top of that, they were having problems with their printers, and the subordinates under Judo, they're getting kind of old. So actually, the Grand Duchy of Cagliostro only has two useful properties left. One is their blood, the oldest noble lineage in Europe. This tells us why he had to marry her, the marriage to unite the Count and the Archduke. Marrying Clarice, making a lot of babies, and they marry the heirs of any royal family in England, France, Spain, and so on, to take the throne of the country in the future. That's their only hope. And the other one is the treasure hidden by the ancestors. The Count was trying to turn things around with that. So the Count thought he could revitalize the Grand Duchy of Cagliostro using the treasure hidden by the ancestors, and by marrying Clarice to utilize their oldest noble lineage in Europe for resuming political marriages with other European nobilities. Yes, like someone just commented, like what the House of Habsburg did. Like the House of Habsburg, but without money, less financial stability. And the last one, the feeling for Clarice, his love toward her. To be frank, I didn't get this. I saw every inch of every cut in this movie, but could not find any evidence or trace of the Count being in love with Clarice, not at all. Actually, I did find some scenes that may insinuate it, but when the scene changes, the Count just simply tries to kill or abandon her. Miyazaki tried to be careful to not blend in such amorous feelings in the film. As the Count is depicted as the man of stoicism, he may be hiding his feelings, but it seems rare for Miyazaki to completely eliminate such an aspect. So why did Lupin make fun of the Count, saying lust and greed and cradle robber? To me, it's quite obvious. The Count Cagliostro is the shadow of Lupin, his alter ego. In the lecture of Laputa, I told you that Pazu would have turned into Muska if he hadn't met Shita. Similarly, Lupin and the Count Cagliostro, they are two sides of the same coin. In the previous lecture, I talked about the structure of the opening sequence of Lupin III. Lupin and the clan are lonely because they live in the outside world, the underground world distant from ordinary lives of ordinary people. And the Count, he actually tried to reach the world of light from the outsider's world, the underground world, the world inhabited by Lupin. The Count is more than aware that he is going nowhere with his counterfeiting and killing gigs. He knows that it would not bring a bright future to the Grand Duchy of Cagliostro. That's why he joins the UN, makes friends in Interpol, and broadcasts his wedding ceremony live to the rest of the world. The oldest noble lineage and the ancestors' treasure, he tried and wanted to use them to make his life legitimate. He wanted to believe in the oldest noble lineage and the ancestors' treasure because he knows that his hands are stained with blood. He says, yes, my hands are stained with blood, but so are yours. This is just his tsundere action. And what he tried to say was, in a sweeter tone, yes, our hands are stained in blood, and we must hold them together to try to live our lives in a place in the sun. The luxurious dinner, the banquet, and the ceremony symbolize his rebel against the dark Count Cagliostro family. He actually wants to be the archdukes he destroyed.